Roadhouse 2 seems like a good idea, but I am far more hyped for the potential sequel of a hit Netflix action thriller that boasts an almost perfect Rotten Tomatoes score of 95%. When the Roadhouse remake was first announced, I was among the many viewers who were skeptical about it. I could not help but wonder how the remake would even come close to being as entertaining as the original cult classic. While it would be unfair to compare the two films, I was ultimately surprised by how brilliantly the Roadhouse remake delivered on the entertainment front. It may never acquire the cult following the original movie garnered, but it has successfully managed to prove that not all remakes are doomed to fall short of their parent films. Roadhouse's success prompted Amazon to announce Roadhouse 2, which will also likely be a fun popcorn flick like its predecessor. Owing to this, I look forward to its release. However, I would be far more excited if the sequel of a Netflix action thriller gets confirmed. Rebel Ridge 2 would be far more exciting than Roadhouse 2. Rebel Ridge is a lot more than an action drama. Rebel Ridge and Roadhouse are initially quite similar in the sense that both revolve around mysterious protagonists who arrive in a small town with the motive of solving a problem. Despite being overpowered, both Roadhouse's Dalton and Rebel Ridge's Terry Richmond have no intention of getting involved in trouble. They are just there to help someone and hope to leave once their job is done. However, to their dismay, they inadvertently get involved in a grand conspiracy that forces them to unleash their true potential. However, while Roadhouse remains a typical action movie throughout its runtime, Rebel Ridge dabbles with realistic and relatable themes surrounding racism, police brutality, and civil asset forfeiture injustice. Roadhouse offers a few gripping fistfights and some hilarious one-liners. Unfortunately, since it does not take itself too seriously, these aspects are easily forgettable once its credits start rolling. Rebel Ridge, in contrast, stays with the viewer far longer because of its political undertones and deeper exploration of societal issues. The Roadhouse sequel will likely repeat its predecessor's formula and feature a few slam-bang action sequences. I can also foresee how it will likely balance the raw intensity of its action with moments of silliness and comedy. However, when it comes to Rebel Ridge, it is hard for me to predict the franchise's potential future stories because of how the Jeremy Saulnier movie elevates itself above the regular fare of action movies. Considering all the intriguing themes and systemic problems it could explore with its action drama, I look forward to Rebel Ridge 2 more than Roadhouse 2. Rebel Ridge can become Netflix's biggest action franchise. Netflix has been trying to develop an action franchise for years. Netflix has consistently been trying to strike gold with action movies for years but has had little to no luck. While the streaming giant has succeeded at making a full-fledged franchise out of Chris Hemsworth's Extraction, other original action movies, like The Gray Man, Red Notice, Lift, and Rebel Moon, have failed to leave their mark. Nearly all of them had potential, but their underwhelming critical scores prevented the streamer from having critically successful action films in its catalog. With Rebel Ridge scoring 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has undoubtedly outperformed every other original action movie on the streamer, highlighting its potential to become Netflix's biggest action franchise in the future. According to reports, Jeremy Saulnier's next planned movie is not a Rebel Ridge sequel. Instead, as the director revealed via the playlist, it is a little more in the Green Room universe. However, if Netflix decides to greenlight a sequel, Saulnier, too, might show interest in expanding the film's lore and character beats. I think Rebel Ridge 2 has a good chance of happening. The first film's performance would encourage Netflix to create a sequel. Aaron Pierre as Terry Richmond in Rebel Ridge custom image by Dhruv Sharma. Based on Netflix's report, Rebel Ridge claimed the #1 spot on Netflix's top 10 most viewed movie titles for the week of September 2nd. In a week, the movie garnered 31.2 million views and still ranks among the top 10 trending films in several nations. Given how Rebel Ridge was created on a relatively modest budget, the film is seemingly performing exceptionally well commercially. Since critics have also unanimously agreed it is a standout entry in the action thriller genre, it is hard not to believe that, like Roadhouse 2, Rebel Ridge 2 will also happen.